opposing forces. Like from a New Age perspective, a lot of people who believe that December 21st, 2012 was actually a kind of a spiritual awakening believe that, things tend to get more intense and each side kind of digs in its heels to face off now because each side is trying to preserve this past that's needing to be moved. Do you know what I mean? And then we're going to get into a lot of issues around the environment and environmental damage late next year. Like there's going to be, the piper is going to have to be paid, right? So in a way, this year is about...
paying your debts.
Well, no, I think Jupiter's in Leo just now, and so that shifts the energy to people kind of being very flashy and full of themselves and show off and very dramatic, and it's very fertile for people who are born into the sign of Leo. But then as Jupiter moves into Virgo late next year, that's when you have to pay the piper.
Tara, how come there are, like everybody that I know buys the newspaper, the first thing they do is go to the horoscopes or on their iPads or on their iPhones. The way I see it, now help me understand this, because you've helped me understand so much over the years. I'm hoping you can do it one more time.
Okay.
You've got all these billions and billions of people in the world. You've got 12 houses, right? Or 12 signs. How does an astrologer write for each one of those signs to cover all those people who read that article?
Well, the sun sign astrology that, has always been in the horoscopes is kind of a modern thing. And, the nice thing about the Internet is that real serious astrology, which is much more in-depth, way more than your sun sign, is available to everyone. Okay? So it's not just that. That's a very general thing. So for each person's individual chart, it can't really be reproduced except once every 250,000 years, in fact. If you look at it from the bigger perspective. So each person has, whether you're a Leo sun sign, the moon may be in Pisces, and Mars, the planet of action and defenses, is in Cancer, and Venus, the planet of love, is in Virgo. And so people are very complex, and all of those planets represent aspects of your own personality, and where they are in the 12 signs and the 12 houses is very, very personal. And that changes every 4 minutes as well. So, I think... the great thing is there's a lot of very serious astrologers out there and charts and sites that are very, very popular. And I think that's a great thing that, astrology is really having a modern renaissance because of the technology. So it's way more complicated than it appears.
But astrology has been around for how many years, Tara?
Well, in India, it's an unbroken system for at least 12,000 years.
Wow.
And, kings and queens, Queen Elizabeth used a court astrologer, John Dee. Reagan used astrologers. There's that famous quote by J.P. Morgan that millionaires don't use astrologers, but billionaires do. And a lot of people in finance use astrologers. So I think it's sort of coming out that people use this. There are people that specialize in financial astrology. Really, they just track the market. Yeah. And they have the software now that they can make these very accurate long-term predictions. You can use astrology. There's medical astrologers. These are very specific types of astrology where people specialize, So it's like, being a heart surgeon or something. There are astrologers who really specialize in one type of astrology. So it's very deep, very intense. And, they've had an unbroken system in China. It's a little bit different for 5,000 years. So, it's always been something that people naturally related to, like looking at the heavens or feeling that sense that, that's where we come from.
Tara Greene is our special guest, www.taratarot.com. Tara has been on the show a number of years, and what I love about you, Tara, is your accuracy. And you know what? You're just Tara. You've always just been you, and that's a nice thing. I don't mean anything negative or condescending about that. You're just Tara. And how do you keep your level? Because you are so good. You are one of the very best astrologers. And yet you've always been Tara. You're very grounded. How do you do that?
Well, thank you, Rob. That's very nice compliments. I think, I work as a psychic. I love astrology. I do tarot cards. I have clients from all over the world all the time. You have to be very humble to do this kind of work, because if you get into your ego, you're in big trouble. Ultimately, I have to use the knowledge that I have, my innate intuitive psychic knowledge, with the knowledge of astrology, and then it gets quite intuitive because you have to kind of see beyond the symbols that are there, right? So you can't get full of yourself. You have to stay grounded yourself. It's a huge responsibility. I mean, I'm really a counselor, and people come in all kinds of stages of my life is falling apart and want me to fix it for them, and I try to make it very clear that all I can do is to help them be more aware, and that, nobody can fix it for you, really. Do you know what I mean?
I sure do. And how do you keep your clients at arm's length, Tara, that they don't develop a dependency? And I've seen this happen with so many other psychics and astrologers.
Well, that's a very important point. Boundaries. You have to have boundaries. I mean, I'm very psychic anyway. So, and what's happening in general in the world, like I just had 4 people here earlier, the people who are really sensitive are feeling, those poor children that are being bombed in Gaza or Israel or wherever, or the plane crashes. People feel it on a psychic level, and you can't help it, and that's where we're all evolving to, and that's what I believe is a really huge evolutionary force, that we all are feeling that sense of being interconnected. But you have to have boundaries, right? Otherwise, you're going to be totally overwhelmed, And I think a lot of people are overwhelmed, and I think that they escape through whatever their addictions are, whether it's, I can't put my phone down for a second, or I'm always playing video games, or pornography, or food, or whatever, or sex, whatever the hell it is, workaholism, because they can't deal with it, the fact that they are unconsciously feeling everybody else's pain in the world.
And it seems that the world is coming together on that level, yet falling apart on so many other levels. Do you think, or do you believe in your heart of hearts, Tara, that it's the sorrow that's going to bring us all together at one time?
I think that's a good way of putting it. I kind of, in my mind's eye, like I started thinking about 2015, and I had somebody in Eastern Europe actually has been asking me to write stuff for them, and I kind of, in my mind's eye, look through 2015 just like a big crash and burn in my mind at this point. And I think often because we are human, and you're condemned to make the same mistakes if you don't remember history.
Yeah.
So, I think that usually through disaster, when there's Hurricane Katrina or whatever, nature disasters pull people together. And it restores us to our common humanity.
Tara, stand by, my dear friend. You and I have to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Exonation Tara Greene is our special guest, www.taratarot.com. And she also has a blog spot, infinitynow.wordpress.com. And Tara and I will be back on the other side of this commercial break as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell. We'll be back. Don't go away. My name is Rob McConnell, and I would like to tell you about a very special lady that I have the pleasure of knowing, and that's Miss Sylvia Anthony. Sylvia Anthony believes the golden years are a time to gear up and get busy, not relax and take it easy. She has faced many hardships in her 84 years, but they have made her stronger and more determined. As founder and president of Sylvia's Haven, a shelter for women and their children near Boston, Sylvia has helped transform over 1,086 lives in the past 27 years, not only with housing, but also providing direction as to where they can go to develop the earning skills they want and need to live free from difficult domestic situations. Sylvia's Haven is everything to Sylvia Anthony, even calling it her magnificent obsession. Women who qualify for the program at Sylvia's Haven receive assistance via guidance counselors to find the appropriate job opportunity. Women and their children may remain at the housing for up to 2 years. At the end of this time, or sooner, a woman who is successfully employed and has an apartment or home may leave Sylvia's Haven to begin a new and independent life. Now this is where you come in to help make Sylvia's dream into a reality. Sylvia's dream is to have a Sylvia's Haven in every state to help as many women and their children as she can, and to help this dream come true. A crowdfunding site has been established which can be accessed at www.sylviasdream.org. Now that's www.sylviasdream.org. With your financial help and support, Sylvia Anthony will continue to help those in their time of need, not only in the Boston area, but with her dream of having a Sylvia's Haven in every state of the United States. Your help is needed to make Sylvia's dream come true. Please visit and give at www.sylviasdream.org. Once again, www.sylviasdream.org. And remember, the only difference between a dream and reality is just doing it. We need your help to make Sylvia's dream come true. Visit www.sylviasdream.org. Once again, www.sylviasdream.org. For the X Zone Radio TV show and the X Chronicles newspaper, I am Rob McConnell.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Welcome back, everyone. Geez, I've still got my summer cold, so forgive the once in a while if I'm not fast enough in getting to the cough button. Tara Greene is my special guest this hour, www.taratarot.com. And she also has a WordPress blog at www.infinitynow.wordpress.com. Tara, always great having you with us here in the X Zone. You and I were talking during the break. 10 years we've known each other. Mm-hmm. My goodness. That was before Rob Ford was even mayor.
That's right. It just seems like he's been around forever.
Tell me, as someone who lives in the Queen City, what do you think of your mayor?
Oh God, are you kidding? I think I've been. I remember doing his chart actually and predicting that he would win and all that, but that he would have a lot of trouble. And I still predict that he's going to be in jail actually before, or at least charged before we get to the election here. I don't know who voted for him, to tell you the truth, but, I mean, yes, he's put Toronto on the map for all the wrong reasons. Jimmy Kimmel and all the, everybody making fun of him if you say you're from Toronto. I mean, I was in the States in April, and everybody was going, oh, my God, Rob Ford, So, maybe it's best to learn from making mistakes, and hopefully you learn from those mistakes, But Toronto, the roads are all torn up, and it's horrible for the tourists, and, the city's just not working very well. We have the worst traffic jams in North America now.
Really?
It's worse than Los Angeles. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So Toronto needs some serious infrastructuring, and I know they're getting ready for the Pan Am Games and all that, but, it feels like it's pretty corrupt here, actually.
I guess somebody once said Toronto was turning into the Chicago of the North.
Yeah, I think that's true in a way. Well, I mean, it's just growing like crazy, and it's not been planned. It seems totally chaotic. That's the problem, right?
Well, you see that the way you look at Toronto is the way the world is all over, Tara. It's growing so fast. Everyone is unprepared. Just look what's happening in the world of technology. My goodness, you just get one thing, there's something new out already. And the amount of information that people are being inundated with 724, 365. Oh, my gosh.
Well, I think there is going to be a big backlash from that, and I've seen that already. People are going, forget Facebook and I don't answer my phone all the time, and people are starting to realize that they're losing their precious time, being spent in cyberspace. And the young people, there's already a generation that doesn't know anything different than being on the internet all the time, right?
And that scares me.